Hey, Baba, folks. This is the after Silence Day wrap up. We're we're asking everybody to share their Silence Day experiences from any Silence Day, Silence Day past, Silence Day yesterday. When was it yesterday? 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah. So, and I was just remarking that my memorable silence days are the ones that were trouble. Because otherwise it's just kind of smooth and wonderful. Yeah. So Angela's got a hand up already.
Yeah, I actually kind of excited to come on this program today because it was a really fun day. Really fun. So the Baba Zoom Silence Day Sahavas I thought went really well. There were only a couple of tech issues. There was one host that panicked, couldn't screen share, and she was like speaking into the room like, "Help me, somebody!" And I was just like, "We're all keeping silence. How are we supposed to help you verbally, you know?" I'm chatting with her and she's like, "Oh!" Another host jumped in, was able to screen share, and so it all worked out great. There was a lot of people who hung out all day. I was on using the phone all day and actually listened to everything for like at least 12 hours of it, and it was actually surprisingly wonderful to be doing stuff and having that, it's really
Yeah, I
sweet.
like it.
So, as a bunch of you know, I have been getting into actually screen printing t-shirts. Actually, I have I have designs. I have a lot of t-shirt designs and I have a lot more that I could do. And so it was finally time to bite the bullet and learn how to screen print for myself. And so my project yesterday, there was somebody who was responding to a Facebook post saying, "Hey, can I see this in a different color?" And I thought, "Oh, I can still be on Wi-Fi at work where I do this. I do all my crafting at work, so I can do stuff between patients or after patients. So I ran off there. I got to work, and normally I don't even think about it. Normally, there's very few people that just walk in, usually it's by appointment. I have no appointments. I'm not thinking about it. I'm dressed down. I've got I'm in bare feet. I'm ready to start printing. I'm just going to do a lot of running around. When you're printing, you got to like take it and dry it. And, there's a lot of running back and forth and bring it back and heat press it. And, I'm ready to like work. And this person just walks in and I'm just like, oh my God. And I have to tell him I'm keeping silence. And, as a medical office, it's like, oh my God, like, what does this guy think? I'm dressed down and like hair disheveled,
What
barefoot.
happened?
So I had to handwrite that, I'm keeping silence. And he's like, okay, that's a little weird. You walk into a doctor's office and somebody's like,
We remember it though.
And the doctor is keeping silence, right?
So I wrote in silence and he was like, trying to explain what his condition was. I'm like, I can't see you today, not today. I'm writing. He's like, okay, when? I'm like, well, how about tomorrow? He's like, I'm playing golf. I'm like, okay, well, we figured out a time. He's like, how much? I had to write down. He's like, will you be speaking tomorrow? Yes, yes. And he did come yesterday. Oh my gosh, thank goodness he did make an appointment. I'm just like, oh my God. And I do take off for Silence Day because, like most people are face down on an acupuncture table. I can't sign language to them when does this hurt? Oh my gosh, I just don't think it would be like a proper treatment if I couldn't say something. So I thought that was just so funny, like it rarely happens that people walk in and on the one day that I'm keeping silence, of course, Baba sends me somebody and so yesterday he said, I actually thought it was kind of cool that you were keeping silence. I was like, really? I thought his experience would be something else.
Yeah, yeah, you remember it.
Back then that next day then, yeah, that what would
Yeah,
that
he came yesterday and
oh,
he actually did get a good treatment and felt much better. So that's so sweet. I think it's just so funny.
Oh, well, good on him. He flexible, huh? He kind of.
He rolled with it. Oh boy, he was like this older gentleman, looked a little curmudgeonly, and I was like, oh my God, I'm totally weirding him out. And he actually said, no, no, it was fine. I thought it was actually cool. As long as you're speaking today. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, that's a
It's
great story.
adorable. I just thought it was just so Baba, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna slip in there and do some work, and like next thing you know, I'm working. Ah!
Oh. Wow.
All dressed down, hair in a mess.
Hmm,
Ah, he took it well though.
that's great.
Oh, I will say one other thing though. So at night, there was this thunderstorm that rolled into Myrtle Beach. It was like really close. And there were like three thunderclaps that were right over my head. The first one made me like hop. And then the second one, I was a little bit prepared. It made me sort of like, ah. But then I thought it was going away. And the third one made me a little bit, oh, broke my silence.
No,
But it was just a little eek.
now you were screen sharing, right? At that time, were you not?
Yeah, I was. I had to take over from Meher Kiran, who is in
Oh,
Myrtle Beach.
was at the center. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he was at the center and they lost power. I was like, oh boy,
oh
that
no.
gets dark, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, I
the center
bet.
gets so dark anyway, and then without power, oh my gosh, that's
Huh.
really like camping then.
Well, I had these weird. Oh shit, shit. I jump in.
Yeah, yeah, I'm done.
With Charles. Um, for one thing, his video was, I don't know, his so very off color. I don't know if that was me or, but oh, that's right. We played that video. When did it happen? I'm thinking. Oh, it was the day before. Um, we um I shared his uh, uh I was host. He was on screen, and then my Zoom crashed. Boom,
Oh my
gone.
gosh,
No idea. Ruthie was co-host, thank goodness. Host reverted to Ruthie.
great.
I climb back on and we go on. And, and then it was just as weird. Let me think, how did it go? Oh, I know. Charles's computer did something weird. He
Pros.
jumped to Christopher's computer. And when he took Christopher's computer, Christopher had turned the sound off on his computer so that it wouldn't be two computers in the same room wouldn't do the echo thing. So Charles couldn't hear any of us asking. We were at the point where he was asking questions. He didn't know. He didn't know why. He couldn't hear the questions. He kept talking and saying, "Well, I'm just not hearing any of you." So finally, he just decides he couldn't hear us, so he signed off. It was past time for him to sign. Really, he kind of over. He does too much, that man. Anyway, so he almost finished his sign off speech when all of a sudden the whole thing went blank. I mean, it ended. I didn't end it. I didn't. I don't know if you
Oh,
were picking any of this up. So so I figured it out. When my computer crashed, host went to Ruthie. Ruthie was host. So when she left, she didn't realize she was
she was the host and she closed the meeting.
and then so I thought, oh my gosh, I got a call. It was the day before. It was the 11th, or I mean the 9th. And so I'll call Kirsten. I get on my phone and I call both of them. They're on in my phone. I couldn't. They were gone. I don't know what happened, but I
Oh
couldn't
no.
either number of their. So I just figured technical, gremlins, Bob. And really, in retrospect, Charles was past him. He was tired. He just gives, he gives too much. And so it was a good thing that it ended. But he was willing to go on. He was right in the middle of a question from somebody, and boom. So
Yeah.
that was weird.
It happened. So the talk was on Wednesday, and of course the Sahaba was on Thursday. So I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was starting to watch it, but I didn't have time to finish. So I didn't even realize there was this tech stuff. So we played all this live anyway. I went back and edited, so the edited version has those little intervals cut out. We're fine.
Yeah, you did a lot of editing, Angela, I must say.
It was an interesting, and it was one of the things that was so funny was stashing like 40 videos and waiting and waiting and waiting until finally we could play it. It was like so exciting to finally reveal all the videos that we had recorded and stashed away. It's so
Nicole.
fun.
Oh,
Jai Baba, everyone.
Hey, Baba Michal, it's good to see you.
It's so good. Yeah, it's good to see all of you too. Well, first of all, oh, you look so shiny. Angela, you look so shiny. And Baba has been playing games with you in Silence Day. And I remember the days that I used to get silence here in Jerusalem. I mean, in Jerusalem, not in Tel Aviv. When I was working, when I was working at the beginning, I was working in a publishing house. So I told them the day before that I'm going to keep silence if it's okay that I'm coming. And they said yes. So I started, so I came in and I'm silent and I brought a little thing that I can write whatever I have to write. And they kept either whispering to me or writing to me back. So when you told the story, it so brought back those days because Baba used to say around silence, I don't want you to be at home. I want you to go out into the world like I did, He went out into the world and he had to face all that being silent, So he wants us to go through that experience as well, how it is in real life to be silent, and what happens with it. So that used to be the times in Jerusalem. I used to every time go out somewhere or be at work somewhere or with the children when I had the kindergarten. So I used to tell the parents before and the children before and the staff before. Of course, I brought more staff the day that I was silent. And but I used to be in the kindergarten, and be with the children. And I'm not surprised this man reacted the way he did, because Baba would bring you into meeting with someone that it'll be very meaningful and touching their inner heart, even without knowing what was going on. So the whole picture that you described was so beautiful, so Baba. and so the same Betty, with everything going wrong in the program, in the main speaker, So I must say, this I was really surprised. This Silence Day, Baba told me, don't go out of the house. I was planning to go to the sea and then buses and walking and, and doing all these things outside and then letting Baba, react to me in whatever way he wants. But this time he said, no, you don't go anywhere. You just stay in the house. I have the stroll. Baba told me, take a stroll every day. I haven't been doing it very good lately. But he says, take a stroll every day, at least 15 to 20 minutes. I said, not, he said, not even the stroll. Just stay inside. Don't talk. No. So that was this Silence Day that I was really inside for the first time and not going out and not knowing what Baba wants from this. And also it was very interesting what you said about the thunders, because Baba in Silence Day was thundering. Yeah,
right.
he was thundering 3 times, right? That's that's strong. And I saw Peter sent photos. He was in the lake
Oh
house.
yeah, Peter
And he
Goodman, yeah.
sent photos, and the storm, the clouds of the storm, and also the rain of the storm. It was beautiful, and with the rising moon, it was really very beautiful and very effective. So what happened was that I was watching a lot the streaming, and you did an amazing. How do I say it? Wonderful. No, how did I say?
Wower.
Wower job.
Ah,
Absolutely wower job, because there were such gems on it. I
yeah.
didn't watch it all the time. I went in and out and in and out. And I also watched the stream of the ninth in Mehrabad, which was so touching as well and so beautiful. And my connection to Mehrabad is so strong, but it was touching, really deeply touching. And 3,000 people silenced together.
Wow.
That is a big silence, big silence. And it was just like an Amartiti. And it was set up like an Amartiti. And they opened all the Amartiti places to let people sleep and eat and everything. And they also showed one short one with all the cooking in the big, huge vessels that they cook inside, that I don't know how they do that. And yeah, for the people. And Betty, you did an amazing, amazing, amazing hosting job. Again and again and again and again, I saw you on these concerts, and wow, Betty, you are really very, very beautiful, and you were very beautiful in those too. Very, very beautiful, very gentle, and very accommodating, very sweet, and some of these people that gave concerts
Wow.
were people that I never knew or never met and never knew that they were singing in such beautiful, amazing, gifted artists and
Yeah,
songwriters.
I went through my contacts and I dug up every musician I could find. I just said, "Hey,
Yeah,
you want to do a concert?"
yeah, and they were doing really, and all of them were so moved. They were all so heart moved to do. They were all so excited to do that for Baba, for the 100 years. So of course I made my slips. I was looking to see what kind of slips I'm going to make, and then I continue. And then what happened today even and yesterday, I start speaking and then I say no, I'm in silence.
Yeah, it takes like a whole week to be like, is it okay to speak? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
And I
I'm,
think that's wonderful, you know what I mean? Like even one day of silence can have that large an effect. I
effect.
think it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. And I'm always thinking about the wave effect, where Mirbat starts its silence before Israel, and then Israel goes into silence, and Turkey
Oh,
goes into silence with Hassan, and then Europe goes into silence, then America goes into silence. And you
wow.
still keep silent when we are already out of silence. Yeah. So, and then well, I share in my Facebook and I say, because some people are not Baba lovers who will watch it. And I say, can you imagine what will happen in a day that everyone would be silent, or so many people would be silent? What an effect it would be on the world that we will do so, and do so as a wave. So that was very, very beautiful. And what else? Oh yeah, this the waking up and starting, because I talk to Baba, so I usually talk, to Baba many times in my heart or in my head. And then, I say something and I say, oops. When it's not a silence day, oops. So this time the silence day was very long, because it was in Mehrabad, celebrated not one day, but more than one day, and it still is on. And today is Juni Day, so it's Juni Day of the Silence. And, um, and I must mention another point that was really shocking to me, that no, that Baba doesn't want that now. And and what else can I say?
Purnima, the Guru Day in India that happened to coincide when everybody worships or
Oh, Thursday, right, right. Guru Purnima, right.
and it
Yeah,
was full moon, that too. Yeah, it was a big day, big energy. Yeah.
very, very strong, of course, 100 years. So it's really an impactful day, because Baba said that within 100 years, all his manifestation will be completed. So, of course, in 2069, but every time that we come to a round of 100, then I
Mm.
think it's really, wow. It's really Baba saying, hey, watch out. Or manifestation. Yeah. So I'm holding fingers here. I went to the sea yesterday to pray Baba let me because I thought I would go on Silence Day and do that, but Baba said no, and yesterday he pushed me out of the house to go, and I went, and I'm happy I did that because we need the prayers. And I do think that even though we are holding the 3/4 of Baba's prediction, and not only Baba's, but everyone is predicting that. I mean, the Tibetans, the Indians, the Mayas, everyone is. I think that Baba in his work as Avatar, saying that I did my work 100%, has always a place where this does not have to happen, that this does not have to happen, that this does not have to destruct totally, but it is up to us. It is up to people, it's up to their choices. And I think Baba is still, as an avatar, he had the authority to do so and to change the predictions if we will give hand to that. So my prayers yesterday, I always send love to all the people in our area. And whatever comes, we are with Baba, and we're so fortunate to be with him and holding his Dhamma and being in his light. Shea Baba.
Aren't we? Ron, you're silent. That's unusual. Do you have anything to share, Ron?
I thought Arthur had his hand up.
I already talked.
Maybe before we started.
Well, I didn't have anything really to contribute about Silence Day that just passed, but I thought I would hear some people that did. We have a pretty small crew here, though, to choose from. But I was thinking actually of when my kids were little, which what it was like on Silence Day. That's what came to mind right before Silence Day. Because I just stayed home and missed talking with my spouse Lisa and my house cat Heidi. I figured I'd probably like to talk to them, but I abstained. and Mikhail reminded me of talking to Baba aloud as well. I abstained from that. Anyhow, but when my kids were little, and we're talking like maybe 6 and 3 or 4, 7, around that time, I remember taking them to this park that happened to be right near these transportation tracks. We call it the BART, the Bay Area Transit. Anyhow, I used to take them over there, and there was a little school that had climbing structures and swings and things that they could play on. So that was a typical thing that we would take them there. And we had a dog at the time. I take the dog, and on Silence Day, I thought it was pretty challenging to keep him, safe and all that without saying anything. So I was basically clapping my hands in order to get their attention and, get away from there or whatever, or go over there and, I don't know, just to do something. I can't remember exactly what came up, but yeah, I didn't have to break my silence. So, but that was fun. And then one other incident was on Silence Day. I took my son, who at that time was probably between I would say 3 or 4 years old, but he loved baseball. He was really into baseball. We used to play in the backyard. I'd throw him a ball and he would hit it, and he would do that for an hour. He just loved swinging the bat. And so I took him over to this baseball field at the high school, which was just a couple of blocks away from us. And we got onto this baseball field. Now, the baseball field, this particular infield was all dirt. So there was no grass on the inside of it, and have the dirt, lining it, and there were also no bases in the ground at the time. So I would throw the ball, pitch the ball to my son David, and he would hit it, and he was pretty good at hitting it too. It was like a tennis ball, I think, is what we were using. And then I would have to go run after the ball. And this was hot out too. This was like in the middle of the day. It was pretty hot, I think. And he would then circumnavigate the entire field. I mean, way beyond what it would be just to run the bases. Running the bases would have been he just went around the whole track there, and he did it. I don't know how many times, but it was just so into it. I couldn't help it. I was trying to refrain from laughing at how crazy it was, because I couldn't tell him you don't have to go all that way. And anyhow, that was a fun thing in my memories on Silence Day.
Great
What about work, Ron? You're for your business. Was that successful? Did you just not talk for a day? You have this business kind of your own.
Nobody contacted us. Our business is becoming rather slim, uh, with just not that much activity. Fortunately, we're still making a living, I think. But I didn't have to do anything. No, I wasn't going to answer the phone. That's all. I mean, so many people deal on email now.
Yeah, right.
So, if I needed to do that, but I didn't even have to do that. So I was free that day. Nobody contacted us, although I was prepared. And in the past, uh, I've had to sometimes send an email to somebody who called in and left a message, and I'd say, I can talk to you tomorrow, but in the meantime, and then I'd say something in the email to them, and just let them know that I was observing silence today, and that was not a problem.
Angela, I think your story takes the cake.
That's so cute, right?
Yeah, but Arthur was going to share something.
Yeah, I'll let him share first. I just wanted to say real quick that, Ron, it sounds like you're a great dad. What a fun thing to do with your dad, spend an hour chasing a ball around. Arthur, please share. I have a little
Oh, well,
something
I
to
forgot
add.
the most important thing that happened on the Silence Day for me. I was looking around. I was like, well, how are they going to have Zoom? Nobody's going to be able to talk, So I thought. So I went on there and I watched some of the music. That was pretty neat. And I see the same thing. Everybody really had their heart and putting everything they had into it. It was like they were playing for God. And so that was inspiring. But what I go on Facebook every day, and there's this one guy that posts, and his name is Merwan. And he's always got something new about Baba that I haven't heard. And I thought I'd heard everything, or some new picture. And so he had his post for Silence Day was, I guess Baba said this, and it was, at night when you go to bed, you lay down your head, and he said, just for 1 minute, he said, still your mind, and then think of me. And if you do this long enough, it'll get you there. So
Wow.
I take a lot of naps during the day, so I went in there and I laid down on my head and everything, and I started trying to still my mind, which is impossible. And I got it calmed down pretty good, and I started thinking, well, that's about 30 seconds. So after about the third try, I quit. But it showed me that that's something that would help me so much if I could do that. If I could go out and be silent in a day, and I would not get so emotionally involved in stuff with people that normally piss me off. So uh, I really feel like I was given a great gift there, and I've been trying to do ever since I was 20 years old, I do a meditation where you still the mind. That's the idea. Just still the mind. And you find out you can't do it. You just can't do it. And so it shows you're not in control of your mind. So you got to kind of eventually maybe it's possible. And there's been a couple of times when I did get it still. Boy, they're rare though. And a lot of things changed. It was like you go into quite a different state. But anyways, I think uh, by being by that exercise about showing you by being still, trying to still the mind, I think I can, it's going to help me a lot. So I had a great silence day.
Great.
Amazing about what you're talking about, trying to still the mind and the thoughts, because it is very impossible. Because they float, because they don't even come, they're not even generated in your own. They also come from the collective through you. So we're living in a sea of thoughts. So when you say that you even succeeded to even a bit to be without, wow, that is something very special.
Yeah, it was a metaphysical experience. Everything, the whole room turned purple, and the things that were purple, they started glowing purple, and my
Wow.
breathing started getting uh, deep, accelerated, and I got scared. I was ready to come back to normal consciousness. Pretty much instantly. But
Wow,
so,
that is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Angela, you had a little something more?
Yeah, so oh, just to follow up though on Arthur, that's exactly I think what the purpose of keeping outward silence is to notice how much there's stuff that we don't need to say, and then there's stuff we don't need to be thinking either. Thought, word, and deed, right?
Not,
And of course, in Buddhism, that's all that they practice is trying to still down the mind. Anyway, I wanted to share about a past silence day. I remember, so I had a dog named Mani. She was so wonderful and so sweet. She lived to almost 16 and was in great health all the way to the end. She was so close. So I was able, at that time, I was working from home. So when she came to me as a little puppy, she was only 8 weeks old. She and I spent all day together, like all day, every day, So like all she would have to do is sort of raise an eyebrow, and I'd be like, "Oh, you need to pee." Raise an eyebrow, and I'd be like, "Oh, you need water." "Oh gosh, look, you didn't have any water." So she and I were so close, just like anything she needed, she just knew. All she had to do was give me a certain look, and I took care of it. She hardly had to speak, She never barked about like, "Oh, feed me." She just knew that, we were so connected. So kind of early in her life was a silence day, and I guess she was about a year old, something like that, youngish. And so I'm keeping silence, and boy, was she weirded out because she was so used to my saying like, yeah, okay, come here, good dog, like whatever, just small things that you would say to a dog. And she was just so weirded out that like I wasn't saying anything. I was trying to catch her attention. She's just like, "What are you doing?" I felt so guilty. It was a very long day. Poor sweetheart, you know what I mean? Like, what did I do wrong? She said. Why you're not speaking to me? Oh, I do feel sorry for animals. They just don't understand what you're doing.
Cared so much. Obviously we weren't as in tune as you were with mine. But Mika.
no, I think the dogs understand more. I think the dogs understand completely because Baba's dogs show that. I mean, when Mastan went around and figured that Baba was not coming back and he just lay down, didn't want to eat anymore, didn't want to do anything, and he just slipped out of life. So I think dogs know more, and they are very perceptive. She was used to you. She was used to reacting to her. Suddenly you're reacting to Baba. Hey, what's going on? I mean, am I not the center of the house? Am I not the center of your heart? It reminds me of my son when he was so jealous of Baba. this egomaniac. He wants everyone to come and bow down to him. I said, yeah, that's what you think? Okay, you know what? Sit on a chair for 8 hours and let people come bow to you. And you can't go to the toilet, you can't eat, you can't do anything, you know? Do you think it's fun? Do you think that's what Baba wants to do? So yeah. So okay, he understood the idea, but you're still jealous. So yeah, so they're jealous of our contact to Baba. But Ron, I wanted to say that not only I was impressed by what you told about being such a good father and doing these things with your children, and for an hour, and running in the heat. Uh, it's that I was also impressed by your son to be able to hit that. You said 4 years old, didn't you? 4 years old he was, and he was hitting the ball that you had to run, and he could do all this whole field and come back. That's a really baseball player. What did he do when he grew up? Was he
Yeah, he played baseball all through high school at at a high level. In fact, he in his junior year they went to the finals for the I don't know the league that it was in, and played at the Oakland Coliseum.
Wow.
He was quite a good baseball player, but in college, he decided that he would not go in for it.
Yeah, because they could buy him, they could buy him and he could have a free education in the States. But yeah, 4 years old to do that. I mean, it's not, I used to be kindergarten of 4 years old. I know what their capabilities are. That's special.
Another thing that he did when he was about probably 4 or 5 years old, I went out one night, and when I returned, Lisa told me that he had listened to a San Francisco Giants game on the radio the whole game when he was just 5 years old. He listened to it on the radio. That's how much he absorbed about how to play baseball. I mean, to me, that was one of the most amazing things I've ever heard about that he ever did. Was anyhow, there's some good stories about him. That, but I don't know if can I say something else
Of course.
on a different subject? On a different subject.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I just felt like this doesn't really have anything to do with Silence Day,
Okay.
but it's something that I heard about recently on the internet from some young wise chap, and he was offering his view on what would be you might call a hierarchical place where we can put our concerns and what's important in our lives. And so what he suggested, and he was suggesting it probably for everybody concerned as it applied to them specifically, that we should place first our concern and everything about our lives with God. So God should always come first. And then the next most important concern, not as much as God, but next most important would be if one has a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So the spouse should be of most concern of whatever is going to be required to take care of those duties, those responsibilities. You might call it responsibilities, that we have. And then comes children, if you've got children to take of. And now I'm thinking you might as well throw in our pets to that, with that, because they're like children, right? They're like our children. So I would say that would be next. Then after that, he said, one's work, basically how you bring in money and do things that are important for the family or yourself. And oh, wait a minute, I forgot one of the most important things. The second thing was not your spouse. The second thing of most importance is yourself. And what I mean by that is that we need to consider how we live, how we specifically are for ourselves are being, that we basically can please God. In other words, God is the most important, but how we are is second most important because of the way we treat God. So God, self, spouse, children, and to throw in the pets. And then our work. So, as an example, our work should not interfere with how we deal with our kids. Uh, and if it does, then we have to make some adjustments and be careful not to go beyond the what's happening. And then finally, he called what he called the ministry, and that would be how we minister to other people. For instance, what we're doing here right now, we're really ministering to one another by sharing our ideas and our thoughts and our love for Baba and remembrance of Baba uh, with one another. Uh, so anyhow, I just wanted to put that out, something that you might want to think about and see if it applies, and if it does, it's a nice gauge for are we doing the right thing? Are we saying the right thing, thinking the right things?
The balance. It's about balance. I think it's spot on. It's that the priorities. The
Yeah, the
priority.
priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sounds good to me. Nicole? Did you have anything more, Ron? At this, hey, it's fine to talk about past silence days. I'm going to talk about past silence days. That was pretty uneventful.
Then go, talk,
To
Betty.
me,
Yeah.
I'll be a while.
You will talk in a while or you will be for a while?
I'll take some long time. So you say,
Okay, it's just short. That reminds me of Baba's last message where he said, "Don't shirk your responsibility," and that is exactly what you're talking about: our responsibility to God and our responsibility to ourselves, how we stand within us and towards God and towards others, and then the responsibility is first responsibility is God, and then you, and then your family, and then your pets, and then your work, and then society. And
Yeah,
it's
very good.
wonderful. So
Very
I
good.
think it's very Baba, very, very
Yeah.
Baba, because that was the first thing that he said. He
Mhm.
said, don't shirk your responsibility. So Betty, thank you. That's all I wanted to say. It's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. It's actually, I feel Baba has done something so strong in this 100 silence. So it's so impactful that it's coming on us very impactful. And that's why these thoughts come up and these, feelings. So
I
Betty.
think I think in America we're kind of we're skewed towards work. And I think family is not as important as it should be to a lot of people who work and learning, earning money, is given too much importance. Just overall, that's my sense of it. Yeah.
To add to that, Betty, this fellow, he did say he thought in the world today that it was that the priorities were upside down. You
Really?
know, more upside down than they are right side up. And what did Baba say about that? He said he was going to turn it right side up. So, yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
That,
you are. Yeah, I
yeah,
think you're accurate, Betty.
that's a good observation. God is at the bottom and he should be on the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right. I was just going to say, with me in Silence Day, that's how it's always been about work. And my first Silence Day, found out about Baba at work from a Baba lover who was just about to go off to the Great Darshan. And and it was, I've been blessed with work that's really lighthearted and fun. So it was a publishing company where quite a few Baba lovers worked. And, and so when she said she did silence, she said, "I'm going to do silent." We all did it like a game. We just started writing notes, and it was just fun. So so that was my first silence day that I can remember. Um,
Wow.
it was just fun, and henceforth, always in publishing, I. I've always worked. Yeah, I mean, I must have asked, "Do you want me to come?" But and one time I worked it was kind of like an army kind of situation. We were putting manuals for tanks together. It was pretty grim and gray, but I had a boss who was pretty cool, and he said, "Yeah, come and be silent." And he and so. that was a bit hard because it meant that my partner had to answer all my phone calls, and he was not happy about that day. But my boss said, you know, I kind of like this. I think we should all try it. He liked it. But then later on, um, I worked for at one place for 25 years, so they got to know, and they knew Silence Day was coming. It was just part of what Betty did, and it was again, it was fun-loving, nice people who went along with it, and it was an art department. So, and I was kind of the oldie, and there were young, hip artists, who I've probably told this story. I've told it a few times that, so, and they knew Silence Day was coming. So one of them had this idea. She made a big sign that said "Silence of the Betty." When the Silence of the Lambs movie was out, and they all ordered masks like Hannibal Lecter wore, and they all wore their masks. And
Betty's Silence Day.
one of my other good friend at work, she got very indignant. She said, "This is a spiritual thing that Betty does." She got really mad at them. I thought it was fun, but she got mad. So it was real nice. Were always at work, and because I worked so long at the same place, they, just figured Silence Day was coming, and they kind of rolled with it. It was okay. So yeah, I guess it wasn't so long after all.
Had you
You
not kept
remind me, you remind me of a story. Uh, I haven't thought of this in a while, but many years ago, I was at the center in Myrtle Beach, and I was in the kitchen, the original kitchen when it was still an original kitchen. Uh, and this guy walks in, young guy. He had just arrived. It was at night, but he had just arrived, and we started talking, and I found out how he happened to be coming here. I guess he was about my age. I was really young at that time, uh, but he was even younger. And he said I he told me that he worked in this restaurant. He got a job in this restaurant, and there was a bottle lover that worked there, and they used to make fun of him because other bottle lovers would come in and say Jay Baba to him, and he would say Jay Baba to them, and so and then eventually this guy and maybe a few other people would say Jay Baba to him as kind of, like the little kids in India would say Jay Baba, Jay Baba. It didn't have any meaning. They were just kind of razzing him. Uh, and so he said that he did that for months. Every time he'd see this guy, he'd say Jay Baba. And one day he said Jay Baba, and it transformed him internally, and he realized that he meant it, whatever that meant. But it struck him, and so it's like just saying Baba's name, even if you mean it in a negative way. And Baba has indicated this, right? Even as long as you think of him, or to the extent of saying his name, uh, that it would draw you closer to him. And so all of a sudden, this guy found out that there was this center in Myrtle Beach. He got in his car and drove from Nashville, Tennessee to the center that night. He had just arrived.
Oh my God. And
Isn't that something? Yeah.
that's he didn't know much about Baba at all then. Is that
No,
right?
he didn't know anything other than this is very important. And he's touched his heart. Baba touched his heart in some way. I mean, but saying his name, you better be careful.
yeah. Baba said that his name is so powerful that even he is taking his name. And that's what Merwan said. You keep his name, say his name. And
Wow.
it's so important. And Mani used to say, loot his name, loot his name. You have his name, loot it. And that's a beautiful, amazing story, just saying Jay Baba, not knowing anything and just kidding someone, just teasing someone with this name, gets him caught. Betty, I think that if you did not keep silence, they would ask you, "Hey, Betty, you forgot it's Silence Day."
Right. Yeah. Yeah, think of how many people, kind of know about Baba just because of that. They
Right,
work with somebody or they know somebody who, oh
right.
yeah, Silence Day, I remember, right? My kids used to love tripping me up, trying to get me to.
Did they succeed?
And I wondered, Mikhail, about your little ones in kindergarten. How
No,
did
they didn't trip me up. No, they loved it. But it was in my house, so there were many pictures of Baba in my house. So Baba was completely there.
anyway?
He made it very easy. No, it's not me. He made it very easy because the parents, some of them were religious. Really religious, religious Jews. And some of them, very few, were Christian, and some was even Arab and no, the kids just kids connect to Baba so easily. They don't need not that I did anything about Baba, except that on his birthday I would write on the board for the parents that it's Baba's birthday, and I would sing happy birthday with the kids, and on Mara's birthday. But otherwise, no, I didn't. It's kindergarten, so we had kindergarten, and certain time Mani said, Baba abolished all ceremonies. So I came back to Israel and I said, what am I going to do with all the Jewish holidays? What am I going to do? Maybe I'm supposed to stop doing them, and just, and Baba called me by the ears and said, "Oh, no, 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 you keep on all these things, you do them all." So we did them, so it was a regular kindergarten, but Baba was there totally, and the pictures and the parents, and I would say that I'm, going Silence Day and Baba's birthday, and parents knew about it, and then he was there, and it's his kindergarten, not mine. It was much fun.
Oh my goodness. I sure wish I was in your kindergarten, Mikhail. I bet it sounds like a little bit of heaven, your
Oh,
kindergarten.
it was just an amazing, and I didn't even know that it was so, and everyone was telling me, "Oh, you were just doing the right thing for you. You're just doing the right job that because I used to keep changing jobs in the beginning. So everyone said, "No, it's just so perfect for you." So that's what Baba was telling me. You just stay, you just do this, and it happened for 25 or more years, and it was just such a celebration of love and joy and beauty. But only 16 children because my house was very small, and so I couldn't take more than 16. So I didn't have this big, huge group, or so it was just great with all of us and the staff and parents and the parties, and it was beautiful.
It's in Jerusalem.
Yeah,
Jerusalem.
in Jerusalem. But then when I came here, I worked with two children as a crash. You call it a crash, daycare. Little babies.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
I still meet them and I still have contact with them, and they're beautiful. And some of my children are already finished high school, and this year from the kindergarten, and some in the army, and some and these little kids came as little babies of 3 months old. They are now 7 years old. We still meet and we still have fun together. But Arthur is holding his guitar, and he's such a beautiful
you're gonna
singer.
play Arthur? Maybe can we are you getting ready to play for us?
You're
No, no.
muted.
You gotta
I was,
unmute.
I was trying, I was, you reminded me something when we was talking about, you was talking there, and I was trying to see if I could remember it. I got a little bit of it, not much.
Oh, a little bit. We'd like to hear it.
Uh, I think, I'm not sure what the name of it is. In the darkness when the sun sets down, I wonder why. In the darkness when the sun sets down, I try to be high. Deep down inside me, I want to know the knowledge from the sky. like you are. I wanna be just like you. In the moonlight, way down below the stars above. In the distance, I heard the sacred call of love. It's no secret, Baba's the one I love. I wanna be just like you are. I wanna be just like you. That's two verses of it.
Nice. I like that.
Wow, that's great. You wrote it and you composed it?
No, I think I wrote one song in my life or two, but I can't find them. I can't remember them.
Well,
That was a
that's
cool song.
Thank
Cool
you.
song.
wonderful. Ron, do you have any of your beautiful Baba quotes singing songs that fits this program?
Any songs that fit your program?
Do you?
I don't know what you
No,
mean.
I mean Ron.
Ron he's put Baba quotes to music.
Oh no, I thought about doing it though. I mean,
You have
you know,
any
like
Baba
"Don't Worry,
quotes?
Be Happy." I like that one. That
Yeah,
one's
there's
pretty
some. I let me just make a recommendation. I don't want to try to sing the song, but if you go to YouTube and you'll find some of the songs that I put on YouTube, and one of them, actually the one that got the most plays so far, is the one about breaking silence,
Wow, what
breaking
is
my
it like?
silence. So if you go to Performs One, that's my channel, or you could put in Ron Greenstein. You might get to that channel, and you'll find uh, breaking my silence. That song I thought is one of the best recordings I did of a Baba quote. So I would, you could go there sometime and listen to that. There's another silent song on there too that you could hear. It's more of a live thing, but anyhow, uh, I I just wanted to mention, just to go back to the my son's baseball thing, and other people finding out about Baba from one keeping silence, because I used to go to the baseball games during the summer when my son would be playing. He would usually get into the all-star tournaments, and I would be there at all those games, and the other parents would then find out about Baba because I didn't say anything. Here I was at the baseball game, but I didn't say anything to anybody. Usually I was pretty verbal and talkative. But anyhow, that was, I don't know, who knows what happens from something like that, but they did
Yeah,
hear about Baba.
yeah, Baba touches them. Baba touches them all, of course. I mean, it's like through us, he's reaching out to others we don't even know. We don't. None of our business. It's his business.
Baba
Yeah.
says when you share it, it increases. It increases in you. When you share.
Yeah,
Jesus didn't ask his disciples to do a whole lot of things, but one thing he asked them to do was preach the kingdom of God, even if they didn't know it. But because you set yourself up to be a channel, and when God takes over and works through you, boy, you used to be saying things and giving them a class like you never gave before, and end up going from feeling half wasted to feeling as high as you ever felt.
I've been trying to find Ron Greenstein on YouTube. I can't. What's the name of
no,
the?
can you put it in the chat so we can copy?
Oh, okay.
Ron, can you put it in the chat? Just write it down, and we can then just touch the link. I mean, we can copy and touch the link. Yeah, so nice meeting you all
Yeah,
here.
it's nice.
Silence Day and the vibes. Happy vibes, huh? Actually, happy vibes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, you haven't probably pushed the button.
Yes, no, he's writing.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah, Ron's done has several CDs out, Arthur, that are not and well, at least a couple of them are
I
what
heard
Bob
you played the
said.
other day on here. It was really good.
Yeah.
You can also listen on SoundCloud, although the song I'm talking about, that particular album did not get on SoundCloud, but there's three other ones. The whole album is available to listen to on. So if you go SoundCloud, one word, and then put in Ron Greenstein, you can listen to all those albums. And
Oh,
I
cool.
must say, I like listening to them still.
And Baba's quotes is the one that it's Baba says. Is that
There's
the
two. There's
oh,
one of Baba's quotes,
uh-huh.
one of Josephine Esther Ross, poet,
Oh,
songs,
right.
Songs of a Modern Disciple was the
Right.
name of that one. And
Uh-huh.
then the other one is The Lion's Share, which is songs that I both wrote the lyrics and the tunes to.
But do you remember the quote that he said about breaking his silence? Do you remember the quote?
I would have to sing it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Just I want you to listen to it because it's such a good recording, and it's such
but
a.
I copied it. I copied it into.
I
See if you
when
can find "Breaking My Silence." It should
if
be
I
should come up. Should
if
come up.
I Google performs one, I get a whole bunch of other things that are like business or something like that. I don't
Oh, I see.
so I don't
That's odd.
do you have
Let's
to
see.
put YouTube performs one or not?
Yeah,
Or
no, I don't think so. If you go to YouTube and do a search,
ah, okay. Okay.
right? Isn't there's a search on YouTube. I
Yeah.
use I use it a lot because
Okay.
I really like
Mm.
All right.
using YouTube.
Okay. And then do
Put it
perform
in,
one.
put performs one in the search,
Oh,
and
good.
you might
All
come to
right.
my page.
Okay.
Should be able to get to the page. Once you get to the page, there's several dozen videos that I did quite a long time ago at this point, but they're
Hey, Ron, can I
they're
ask you a
uh,
question?
they're kind of fun.
Okay.
Mm.
Hey, Ron, I was wanting to ask you a question about, they have this program now to where you sit with your guitar in California and I sit with mine here and somebody sits in Carolina with their drum set and they can all jam together at the same time without any latency. Does anybody do that on Baba Zoom or?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's I can't remember the name of it, but I watched like Ringo Starr and Jeff Lynne and a bunch of guys get together and do it and show it on a video. Wow, it was great. They had 100 musicians playing the same song, you know. And it was a real good spiritual kind of uplifting song, all at the same time. It's a new. It's not new, but it's
I
got
think
more than fun.
I think the way that's done, Arthur, is that it's recorded.
No,
So
it's live. It's live
it's live.
with no latency. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's very unusual. I
That's
got on the phone the other day with Jane Brown Mossman,
yeah.
because she wanted me to sing some songs with her at the Sahabas, and we tried to uh, rehearse, but it was so she she would be trying to when she was singing what I was singing, it was after I had sung my thing, so there was a delay there, even on the phone, which was kind of strange, but
Yeah, I saw you. I saw pictures from the Sahabas, and you were there on stage with her. I must say goodbye. Thank you, Baba. Thank you for
Okay.
your silence. Thank
Yeah.
you for your love. Thank you all for sharing. It was
yeah, Jay
beautiful.
Baba, good to see you.
Jai Baba. Bye.
Okay. All
I think
right.
I should probably go water my plants, otherwise I'm
Yeah.
in
Oh,
trouble.
right. It's been
After
hot.
3 times a
Before I
day,
get
it's
to,
been so hot.
Okay.
all
Thanks.
right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Nice
Happy
sharing with you all.
both.
Hey,
Yeah.
Baba.
Jay Baba. Bye bye.